Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to take a few minutes to get situated with sharing our screen. But while we wait for that, feel free to start introducing yourself in the chat by sharing your name. What state are you joining us from? And your pronouns, of course. Uh, and really excited that folks took time out of their busy schedules to join us for this really exciting conversation for HINAC 7 site selection, also known as our RFP process of how we choose where we're going to be. So name, pronouns, and where are you from? Also, if we can go to the next slide, while we're letting folks introduce themselves, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you're not speaking until we do Q&A at the end, if you could please stay on mute. We will open up the floor for questions, but also feel free to use the chat for any questions you have. Also, you can raise your hand and we'll just call on you when we get towards the end, because that's where we're going to have our questions. If we can go to the next slide, please. So, again, really glad that you all are with us tonight. Thanks for introducing yourselves in the chat. Some of you may be listening to the recording or be on now and like, why are we having this webinar now? Why are we having this today? And it's really critical that we include community in this discussion. If we can go to the next slide. HINAC is one of the only conferences led by people living with HIV for people living with HIV. And we really focus on what the community needs at a grassroots level to be able to make the change that we make in each of our states and local communities. So anybody who's been to HINAC, I hope you have felt that love and community and solidarity amongst one another. Next slide. I'm going to pass this over to Kevin or Eric.
Yeah, it's me, Kamaria. Thank you. So
Um,
what we look for, and we've learned a lot in the first six HINACs, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot in the next six HINACs because things happen no matter how carefully we plan, no matter how much planning we go through. There are things that throw us for a loop. But overall, what we're looking for first is lodging. We need a college or university that can handle 250 people with both double and single occupancy rooms for 3 nights and 4 days. We have learned to get very minutely into the weeds when it comes to some things. One are beds. If bunk beds are present, they need to be adjusted 19 to 20 inches from the floor so people don't have any accessibility issues. How do we know it's 19 to 20 inches? Because poor Eric had to spend 3 days arguing with the people in North Carolina how low a bed should go so it's accessible. So again, that's one of the things we learned at HINAC 6. It pays to be detail oriented, so you get beds that are actually usable for all people that want to attend HINAC 7. Another lesson we learned in North Carolina is when we do the site visit, we will now be inspecting the ADA rooms for folks with disabilities. We need to make sure that they are actually ADA accessible and not somebody's best attempt to remodel something that's kind of old and make it ADA accessible. So yeah, we need to make sure that those folks that want to join us are comfortable at HINAC too, because we need their voice at the table. And one of the great things that happened in North Carolina is they were not only able to supply us with linens and towels, but they had the toiletry that was set up as something we could add, and we added it. So that was nice that people didn't have to bring quite as much to HINAC 7 or HINAC 6. So these are the things we look for and why when we're looking for the lodging. And then meals. Wow, this Eric got the bed issue, I got the meal issue at HINAC 6. So overall, we need breakfast for 250 people for 3 days. We need 3 days of lunches for 250. The last day, we need half of those to be sack lunches, so people that have early flights are able to eat lunch as well. And then, of course, we need dinner provided for 250 people for 3 days. And we need to have coffee and water stations available in the building that we are having activities in. It doesn't make any sense to have coffee and water stations where you have to walk across campus to get a cup of coffee. So we have kind of figured that one out, but that's one of the things we look at when we're trying to pick a school. Snacks, again, we need to make sure that the snacks are available where we are. We don't want them close to the HINAC office if we're in a building 5 minute walk away for people to be able to get a little food if they need it during the day. One of the lessons we learned is when we do the site visit for HINAC 7, we will be sitting down. We're going to ask to sit down with the people that actually manage the dining hall. We kept getting told that there were things in the contract that should not have created all the log jams around mealtime. And when Eric and I finally discussed it with the folks that manage the Fountain Dining Hall, it may have been in the contract, but they were never made aware of it. So we are learning as we go, and we are going to make sure that the lessons we learned are make HINAC 7 and beyond even better for everybody. Meeting facilities. Again, we like the camaraderie that a college campus brings for our training academy. We always looked to try to have it as condensed as possible. I think all of us that work on HINACs, if we could, would look for something like we had at HINAC 3, where everything was in one building, basically, and there were no need for golf carts, meals, lodging, plenaries, breakouts, everything was in one building. If we can't do that, then we do our best to make sure that things are as centrally located as possible. But one of the things that we run into when we do this on a college campus is college campuses use the summer months to do a lot of needed maintenance on their buildings. So it's not that they don't want to help us. It's not that we want to see everyone walking. It's sometimes maintenance schedules are made years in advance based on the funding the college has. And sometimes we have to take what we can get, but we do always try to get something that is centrally located as possible for all the things that are going on at a HINAC. And I'm going to go to the next slide and turn it over to Eric.
Thank you, Kevin. So I'm going to tell you a bit about what it is that we're looking for in the way of facilities. We are looking for indoor conference space that will accommodate 225 to 250 participants with breakout rooms for 8 to 12 concurrent sessions over 3 days. So we need classroom or lecture halls that we can run programming in 8 to 12 different rooms at the same time. We are looking for 10 to 15 display tables with skirting for a centralized registration and exhibit area. So this is when you come in, we need an area to welcome you, and so that we can get you situated into your rooms, keys handed out, name tags handed out, and all of that good stuff. We are looking for an area for our altar room, which is really important to us. It's a room to remember and reflect for those people living with HIV who are no longer with us. And we would like that to be a quiet space that's easily accessed. Meeting rooms. We would like whiteboards or flip charts and easels in meeting breakout rooms. We're also looking for 1 to 2 rooms available after business hours or structured academy hours for planning sessions and or participant activities. Like one year we had karaoke and We had a sip and paint. So we would like to be able to do that again. Um, Audio-visual capabilities in all breakout and main meeting spaces, and internet access. The internet access is really important for us, that we are not overloading the campus's internet or their Wi-Fi. So we would like ideally to have our own Wi-Fi space. And then we're looking for a room or a facility for a dedicated conference office. So this is the room or office dedicated to conference organizers, supplies, and tables and chairs that serve as organizers' meeting or headquarters space. So this is our, uh, well, I don't know if I should call it the war room, but that's what we lovingly call it, because there's a lot that goes on in that space, a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you don't quite see, but we're in our conference office. Next slide. So overall, the facility should have a framework for dealing with gender diverse, multicultural, and ability diverse audiences, including supporting participation of people with limited mobility and or experiences with discrimination and harassment, such as people of color and people of trans experience. In 2025 for HINAC 6, we were able to live stream the plenary sessions for those who couldn't attend in person, and we would need, in order to do this, on-site AV tech personnel and a point of contact, high-speed internet with Wi-Fi capability, and advanced and multiple presentation capabilities in each room are preferred, in case we do need to have some sort of hybrid setup if presenters aren't able to be there with us in person. And I'm going to turn it over to Tammy to tell you about some of the stuff that aren't needs but wants.
Thank you, Eric. And did two slides go by? I just want to make sure. So these are additional requests that we have that make our job easier. One, transportation to and from the airport for approximately 150 scholarship recipients. That helps us out rather than us having to try to get people back and forth in a van. Language justice, translation equipment, or the capability of working with an outside vendor is really important. We need headsets and, if possible, a translator booth. On campus transportation, we know that so many of our folks have mobility issues, so having the golf carts or transportation on campus for participants with limited mobility. We will provide training for our golf cart drivers in accordance with campus guidelines, along with guidelines that we have set up from our experiences and learning lessons learned at previous HINACs. Hybrid technology for plenaries and breakout sessions, enabling both in-person and virtual attendance, including dedicated staff to assist troubleshooting technical issues. So we just asked the college that they have an IT person available to us in case we have any issues connecting, especially during the plenaries. Next slide, please. And aren't these pictures all great? We had amazing group at HINAC 6. Public restrooms. The option for restrooms to be gender inclusive is preferred, especially in around our plenaries, but it would be nice throughout the buildings. Advocacy through art, one breakout room with capabilities for participants to create art through watercolor or markers. One of our planning partners, the caucus, hosted a paint and sip one night. So having a safe space where we can have that available is preferred. Low Wi-Fi calming room, a room that has light dimming or low lighting, no windows for sensory sensitive participants to have a break-in, preferred to hold at least 10 people. A green space, access to green space for wellness, movement, activities, which usually isn't hard on campuses, but having that available for anyone who wants to do morning exercise, morning yoga, and walking. We also look for those areas to make it easier for everyone. Next slide, please. So, that is, this is our seventh one. So we do have the RFP process solidified, but we learn something new every HINAC that we try to incorporate to make it even better and seamless. So right now, we just want to see if you all have any questions about anything that was shared today, what we're looking for, or just any basic questions for venue and logistics.
And
I have a question.
go ahead.
As a staff member, I apologize, y'all. I didn't introduce myself at the top of the call. Kamaria, she, her pronouns, Cody D at Sarah Project. Is there a timeline that we can give folks of like what we're looking at or when we're wanting input as we're having this webinar? And then pass to Lizzie because her hand is up.
I think we have set a goal to have the site selected by November of this year. So, we have put together a very simple site selection nomination form, which I've just put in the chat. We went through this because, again, we really believe that we want to keep HINAC the only conference that is produced by people living with HIV, for people living with HIV. We don't expect all of you to know the information that we just shared with you. It's more or less just to let you know the process that we go through. But the site nomination form, if you could get it back to us as quickly as possible, is basically just name, address, email, and phone number if you've had it to folks that you may know at a college or a university, and then we'll do the rest. We're just asking for contact information, and then we will reach out to that school to see if they would like to provide a proposal for HINAC 7. Go ahead, Ms. Stein.
So, with all of the other requirements that you guys have with the airport, are you guys wanting it to be a certain time from like the airport to the facility that we pick? Or does that like not matter? Like, is there like you only want it an hour away, 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away? Like, does that matter? Like, what is the plan for that?
Well, I'll answer that. I'll let other staff answer. We've had it. I mean, like in Raleigh at HINAC 3, it was very close in Indianapolis. HINAC 5, I think, is the furthest we've ever had to bring people from an airport to the actual school, and that was about a 40-minute ride, if I remember correctly. I should know. I made it enough. Um, what I am more concerned about, and Monique, back me up here. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. I want a sizable airport, so if something happens like it did at HINAC 5, and we get a whole bunch of flights canceled and things back up in a small airport, it was touch and go and getting everyone in, so they experienced all of HINAC. So that's what's more important to me. But I would say no more than a 30 to a 45-minute ride on a bus, because remember, most people have probably spent the day on an airplane, and then to make them ride 2 hours on a bus, I just don't think is very fair.
Okay, sounds good. So Pennsylvania would be completely out of the nomination then.
Monique, I saw you come off of mute. Did you want to add
No,
something
I
to
was
that?
just saying I agree with you, Kevin. Like, hey, let the ride from the airport to the facility be, in reason. So I agree that long ride is not worth it.
I also want to add, just for the sake of like the recording and people listening back as well, also people's arrival to HINAC shifts our programming. So if we know that when we're booking flights and travel for folks, that we can get people in by a certain time, so we can start like the kickoff of HINAC for everybody to be in space and not miss it. That also determines like, so having a 2 hour transition from the airport to the site has some people who are got there early sitting there for a long time. So that's also a factor as well.
Yeah, I think that me and Kevin, we try to book everybody close to a time that it starts. That's what we've been trying to do.
And just if you all don't know, Monique was one of our coordinators for travel during our last HINAC and did an amazing job getting people in and out and on flights and timings, that sort of thing. So rock on.
That was a really great question, Lizzie. I would also add that matters on departures as well. We don't want folks.
Absolutely. Absolutely
folks
on departures. And a larger airport would accommodate any scheduling of flights better than a small one. A small one only has so many flights coming in and going out. And that is, it's beneficial to have a larger one. Also, I think this was meant so that when people come to HINAC, they say, why is it like on a college campus? Why do we have to live in the dorms? Because that is the, what do you call it? The fertile ground for the work that we do, being in close proximity and sharing of ideas and whatnot. Um, and you don't lose as many people if you were in a posh hotel. Uh, Too many distractions to keep you from the work that's at hand. And so I understand it well, and I'm not one who goes off campus for anything. I bring everything that I think I need, but there's some people who like uh HINAC 5, Walmart was like 45-minute ride. It was almost at the airport. To get anything that people forgot or to pick up snacks or whatever. But I understand the whole layout and why. And like for me, you're preaching to the choir, but there are people who we hear the grumblings from people who haven't been at HINAC before, the first HINAC, wondering what the heck, like having to make up your own bed and do your trash, do your own things that are life that happens in life. You don't have the maids to come in and straighten out your junk. You have to do it yourself. That's all I
Thank you
had.
for uplifting all of that, Melanie. You're so right. We've started for the Grinnell gathering, the first HINAC in Grinnell, Iowa. Very small group of us. One, it's also economics. We try to bring as many people as we possibly can with the funding that we receive. And posh hotel room does we'd be bringing in maybe a third of the number of people that we are supposed to, because also with the hotel room comes hotel food, and that is about 5 times what we pay on a college campus. and there isn't TVs in the room, so we don't lose people. It's at night, people gather and talk and continue conversations. And sometimes those conversations outside of plenaries and workshops are where people really connect. So there are many reasons why we have hosted HINAC on a college campus. Uno for the win. Yes, heard about those vicious games at the last one, but there's many reasons. But we hope that people see um, the difference between HINAC and your traditional conference and what it brings to the table.
So, any other questions? I
I have a
don't
quick
know about that,
question.
Lizzie. Sometimes, you just gotta have a beer.
No bars. I have a quick question, Kevin. So, if you don't have an actual contact at a college or university, can you still nominate a site then?
Sure. If you have a school in your area that you would like to nominate, yeah, I'm trying to remember what's required and what's not on that Google form. If you don't have information that is required on the Google form, just type NA. And when it comes in, I will do my best to find out whether there is a convention services or event services at a school. Sometimes they're run under a camp program. Probably may want to, yeah, stay away from that again. Uh, yeah, but yeah, I will help do the legwork. If you think there's a school in your area that would be a great site for HINAC. Yeah, I can do the legwork to find out who to send the RFP to. Yeah, and then I'm going to say something else about the site. Um, I mean, I would love to have a HINAC in Boise, being from Idaho, but I also think we need to think about states where everyone would feel safe. And with the crazy crap that comes out of our legislature every year, I'm not sure Idaho right now, it kills me to say this. I'm not sure people would feel as safe in Boise as they would, say, Melanie, I'm looking at you right now in Baltimore. I think we need to think about all of our community when we nominate a school because, again, unfortunately, right now in America, some states are less safe for some of us than others are.
But I'm just thinking of the airport. It's far away from college campuses. So that's why I don't think Maryland would be a good site because it's far away and from the campuses.
Yeah. But yeah, so we need to think about everything when we do this because again, it's kind of hard to learn if you're worried about your safety. Go ahead, Lizzie.
Are we able to do a state that we already have done, or are we trying to stay away from that?
In the past, we have tried to stay away from that. The other criteria that we look at is like, where do we have an active state coalition? What does their criminalization look like in their state? How is our presence going to help that coalition once we leave? So how are we helping? How is our presence helping them build relationships and initiatives? And so this being the seventh HINAC, which roughly equals out to 15 years, approximately, of us having this. I think we've had whispers around like reconsidering coming back to other states that we've already been to. So at this point, I think it's just a matter of like who submits the nominations, and then what universities respond back that meet our needs, and then what can we afford, and then is this a state that we want to be in? So there's like a tiered
Got
um,
it.
weeding
Because
things out.
IUP was that was my first HINAC, and that was honestly the best one I've been to two or three technically. I really think that IUP really fit all of the the criterias that we were looking for, if that was even a possibility of even looking back into.
I don't think it's something we'll roll out. It's just a matter of does it meet our needs and does it make sense?
Got it.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Eric. It's now IU Indianapolis because I could never say
And
the name of that school.
one of the roadblocks we hit with HINAC 6 is not everyone had started, not all schools that were doing it pre-COVID were doing it post-COVID. We had very few proposals for HINAC 5. We only had 3 for HINAC 6. So hopefully the further we get away from COVID, uh, schools will ramp up and start doing this again. But we may have to go back to another state depending on how many schools have their convention services operating again.
And I'm putting this in the chat, but I'm also going to say it out loud just for folks who may not know. We often reference HINAC by the year, but for anybody who doesn't know, like, where have we been? HINAC 1, which wasn't called that, but HINAC was the Grinnell Gathering. That was the first one. That was in Iowa. Yes, Grinnell's Iowa. HINAC 2 was in Alabama, Huntsville, I believe. HINAC 3 was in Indianapolis, Indiana. HINAC 4 was virtual. HINAC 5 was in Virginia, but I don't remember the city.
Emory.
Emory, thank you. It was like in the crack of Tennessee and Virginia, actually. And then HINAC 6 was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and HINAC 7 is to be determined. Lizzie, is your hand up? Oh, never mind.
So any other questions? Well, I will put my email in the chat right now. If you think of any, please email. And we will also, if you nominate a college, we will keep you informed of the progress for your nomination. And but we really would love to get some ideas from you all of where you think the next HINAC would be. And
I would just want to add one thing, like, please, share out this opportunity in other coalition spaces that you're in. Like, you may not know someone at a university, but someone you know might. I also, another goal that we're potentially like wanting to prioritize is the university, our relationship with the university's deans or their schools of public health, schools of social work, all of that. Making sure that we're building stakeholders to fold into the movement as well. We don't believe in just showing up in a city or state and bringing in people and not having like some sort of impact or relationship building with folks afterwards. So that's also something else to consider.
I will go ahead and stop the recording, I think.